Hey, welcome to another episode of Dave's Imaginations. Today, we're going to do another episode of the Death Knight Squire. Episode number 5. Maybe the last episode? I don't know. We'll find out. Burrek Grumbleforge is searching for Darek Brewmont. And we'll do a summary when we come back. Stay with me. Yeah, so let's jump to the notes. Burrek has been searching the woods for Darek for days, and following a trail of blood, he comes across a cemetery. In the cemetery, he falls into a pit and pulls himself out, but then begins a battle with a zombie. Takes care of that zombie, cuts the zombie down. And finds there's a crypt. Burrek enters the crypt, room to room, dodges a blade trap, and finally rounds a bend. And sitting before him, he hears a death knight talking to someone. He peeks around the corner, and sure enough, right there is this creepy old death knight sitting in front of this cowering child, the cowering young man, Darek tied to the ground, and as I look at my notes here, the last thing I had before going in here was to remind myself to eat another mushroom, and I'm sure he does. So, jumping over to Foundry, we see the map, and Burrek reaches into his pouch and pulls out the mushrooms, and he eats them down, feeling the confidence well up inside of him. Let's jump over to the document and see what it says. Let's read this bending passage again. As quietly as I can, I sidle around the corner. A diagonal passage continues ahead and opens into a room which appears to be illuminated. I hear the voice again, little more than a growl shaped into the words, "Look at me, Kerr. Look at me." I take advantage of these words to make a few more steps, and then I have a view into the room. What I see stops my heart. Seated on a large throne atop a dais is a gruesome-looking warrior. Even sitting down, he appears tall. I reckon his height's to be at least 7 feet tall. Probably taller. He is armored from head to toe, although his face and parts of his midriff are exposed. The armor is patched and rusted. In his hand, he holds a huge sword, and he's glaring at me. And he's glaring at he's not glaring at me yet. He's glaring at the bound figure groveling before him. This figure has their back to me, but I notice the clothes of a noble. From his size, I judge this to be the teenage boy, likely Darek Brewmont, which can only mean one thing. The big ugly guy on the throne is the Death Knight. And it looks as though I have arrived just in time. This appears to be the Squire ceremony. I feel a malevolent energy pulsing from the warrior. Watching, my mind races as I carefully consider my next move. Oddly, to his right is a brazier which emanates an unearthly blue light, casting an eerie pall over the huge warrior. It says, "Place token represent the Death Knight on the tone." It says, "Don't worry about Derek." Yeah, put one there anyway. If so, did I succeed my stealth check? Nope. I click on welcome. The Death Knight. Suddenly, the Death Knight's bearing changes. He looks over the head of the poor Darek and stares at me. "So," he booms in his raspy, growling voice, "you finally arrived. The great hero come to rob me of my squire, huh?" There is a brief pause, and the creature breaks into a hollow, grating laugh, which reverberates off the stone walls. Finally, he recomposes himself and stands, uttering Prepare to die, Phil. So it's roll initiative. I get a 7. Not so great. 7 probably +2. Let's see what I got here. Initiative +1, so I have an 8. And let's see what the Death Knight gets. Oh, he gets a natural 1. I don't mind that one bit. All right. Roll D20 for yourself. His initiative is +1, so he got a 2. All right, so Burrek gets to go first. And if you want initiative, go to init 1. Let's do that. Make my attack. Make my attack. So I take the sword of the god's wrath, the sword, Kiran Salih's sword, the sword imbued with power. I can feel the power raging inside of it. It's quivering. The sword is vibrating with energy as it's about to attack its target. And I will roll a D20. I will roll my D10. Two-handed, I take it. And then I get a D4 on top of that for fire damage. So let's see what happens. Ooh, 8. But my modifier is... What is my modifier? Is a +4 to hit. It gives you a +2 bonus on all attack rolls. So it should be a +6, right? Plus, I have a +4, +2 for my strength, +2 for the proficiency, and a +2 on all attack rolls. So +6. 8 + 6 is 14. Is that enough? No, it's not enough. Burrek misses with his first swing. Once you have completed your attack, go to Night Attack. Night Attack. As he prepares to attack, the Death Knight pauses and smiles at me. A chilling sight to behold. Then, from his bony, decimated gut, a horrid laugh, filling the chamber and echoing all around. The air is laced with fear, and Darek Brewmont cowers into a corner, whimpering and covering his face. It says make a DC 13 wisdom save, but if I have eaten the Grek spores, I eat them now. Oh, I had already eaten them. Then, still laughing, he lashes out at me with his longsword. D20 adding 5. D20 adding 5. Ooh, 23 is certainly going to hit. D8. D8 +3. Where's my D8? D8 +3. So 5 points of damage to Burrek. 5 points of damage. Yikes. Okay. Darek! Darek! I yell at the boy, trying to shock him out of his fright and say, I could do with all the help I can get right now. As a free action, I toss the dagger from my side and throw him. And I say, cut your binds, young man. Join me if you can. I roll the next attack, referring to the stat block below. I think it's actually above. Take the -1 penalty if I'm under the influence of fear. I'm not. Make sure keeping track of hit points. All right, I am. And so I make another swing. Uh-oh. 19 + 6 is certainly a hit. As I do, then my damage is... I have a D10 +2. Gives you +2 on attack rolls, a D4 of damage with a damage of D1 of slashing and D1 for fire. So no add other than the fire damage on the damage. So 4 + 2 for damage is 6, + 3 is 9 points of damage. 9 points of damage on the Death Knight. Switching back. All right. You know what? Now is the time to use my action surge. My fighting training kicks in, and I twirl around in the same arc and try to hit him again. 7 + 6 is 13 is not enough. My training. I was supposed to turn the other way, apparently. Damn you, interloper, the Death Knight roars. You will not rob me of my squire. Those wretched robbed me of my boy so long ago. Arrgh! He quickly Quickly he moves forward to attack once more, his longsword arcing toward me. The undead warrior, seemingly out of his mind with rage. The Death Knight is exercising one of his feats. He relies on rage to give him advantage on 2 attacks per day. Roll a d20 with advantage. Oh no! 10 plus 4? 10 plus 5 is a 15. Does that hit Burrek? It does not. He doesn't penetrate my armor, thankfully. And I did throw the blade. To Darek. Go to Blade Boy. Darek has managed to cut himself free and has gotten to his feet. He's shaky, but there's light in his eyes. I remember Lord Brewmont and how honorable he seemed. Perhaps there is a little bit of warrior in this boy, too. Roll initiative for Darek. No modifier. 13. He comes before all of us. And have him enter the fray with whatever weapon he's holding that dagger. Stats for Darek are below. Place his token at the wall of the chamber. I should fix our... So he was cowering here. And certainly the Death Knights moved forward as I moved forward as well. And on Derek's turn, he charges forward with dagger out. No! And he makes an attack with no modifier. 11 is Death Knight, though, despite Derek's charge, pays him no attention as he continues to swing at Burrek and me. 18, that'll certainly hit. 8 points of damage plus... Yeah, here it is. Here's D20 plus 5, so 11, 8, he certainly hits. D8 plus 4, it's 12 points of damage. Not looking good for Burrek. 12 points of damage. Play changes. At this point, I need to use my second wind. I take a big gulp, and I think of my training and try to heal a whopping 3 points. This does not look good. I can't handle another blow. As I turn. Oh, Burrek. Darek swing and miss. I swing now. Natural 20. Gotta like now. In my game, I play full damage plus a roll of the dice. So my full damage, if I look at my sheet, go to actions, my full damage, scroll up. My full damage with the longsword is a d10 plus 2 is 12. Plus a d4 is 16. And then I add the roll of the die. Oh, not this die. 9. It's a nice strong hit. So 12 plus 4. A d10 plus 2 is 12. Plus 4 damage is 16. 29 points of damage. Is that enough to... I had already hit it for 9 points. But this time I hit it just right. Was it enough? Was it enough to take down the Death Knight? 29 points of damage? Yes! Yes! I take it down with just 7 hit points left. Feeling well injured myself. I cut it down. I'm victorious. The Death Knight is slain. I stand there over the undead corpse, twice dead now, catching my breath and taking in all that has happened. I look around. Last 2 days. Darek, your parents are worried about you. And he looks at me. But do you have a stake? Did you bring a stake? From the red tree. Do you have a stake? You must pierce him through the heart quickly. Stake? Wait, I do. Well, I have a limb. I have a stick from the tree. Do you possess a red stake or a branch? I do. Stick. Taking out the stick. Well, it's not much of a stick if you only have the branch. I take it real quick and I whittle off a point. You place it in the death, and I lean and place it right over his chest, and I lean into it, smash it in through his heart with all the force I can muster. and on the third blow, the rickety corpse crumbles into ashes. There is the faintest of sighs, as by whoosh, and then all falls still. Quickly, I move over to Darek and grab him by the arm. "Let's go," I command, and pull him to his feet. Both of us run from the chamber, leaving the crypt and the cemetery behind. Do I have a pact? Oh, my pact with the Blood Knight of Kensley. I do. Despite my victory, the words of the Blood Knight are still fresh in my hand. Turning north at the junction that led you to the cemetery, I continue for a short way, after which this part of the Weathercote wood finally ends, and the landscape changes to wide open grassland, bordered on the east by the main part of the wood which stretches north. The sky is overcast, threatening rain, and pulling poor Darek behind me. I proceed at a run to a nearby farmhouse. The farmhouse where I look to borrow a horse. The farmer comes out of his house, yelling at me and shouting his fist. And I reach in my pouch and I grab out a handful of some of those coins. And I say, "Here, this is for your horse. I'll leave it at the inn at the near town." And I throw it on the ground. And he's waving his fist. And hopefully he can find that. Hopefully he heard me. I reach Old Bar that evening, and Darek delivered Darek to his grateful grandparents. And Lord Brewmont says, "You shall be rewarded, brave champion." Brewmont promises, his eyes misting over. "On the morrow, I shall go to Lord Old Bank and—" I cut him off. I cut off Lord Brewmont, informing him that there's no time. You want to be out of this town as soon as possible. The Blood Knight has a physical form. He will be pursuing me to the ends of the realm and possibly beyond. With his army of cultists, pursuing me with his army of cultists, I certainly don't want those fanatics following me to Orlbar. That will put all these poor folk in danger. Lord Brewmont is sad, but that he is not able to reward me properly. But then the lady comes forth, clasping her hands. "Oh, thank you," she says. And then she reaches up and unclasps her necklace, removing it from her neck and placing it in my hands. "Sell this," she says, "and don't take less than 700 gold for it." Seeing my urgency, Lord Brewmont gifts me with a horse from his carriage team, and I mount up and ride immediately out of Orlbar and into the deep, inky night. Congratulations, worthy adventurer. You have proved more than equal to the task. You completed the mission, rescuing Darek Brewmont and gaining valuable experience along the way. It says take 400 experience, which should be plenty enough to get to level 3. Progress to level 3, level up your PC, prepare yourself for the next adventure. Keep this PC character sheet and advance to level 3, which is the level of this guy's next quest, and check out Tyrant of Zental Keep. And he says, "Thank you for playing Death Knight Squire. Until next time." And I tell you, I do. I think this was fun. I had fun with this. Partway through, my light went out, so I'm a little shadowed. But I had fun with this, and I do intend to keep playing him and into Zental Keep. I am conflicted though with Burrek's distaste for the gods, not to mention dark gods, and this sword, a gift from the gods, and the blessing to hit and the damage, and it's powerful. It'll help him on his adventures. But poor Bonnie, I have 2 weapons now: my great axe and this longsword, and a horse, and some considerable amount of gold for my level. I will definitely buy some healing potions before I take my next adventure. Very well. I'll take the horse and put some distance between myself and oral bar. Make sure, looking over my shoulder, that the minions of Karen Salee don't find me. So, yeah, that ends this module, and look for me to start the next one in the next couple days. All right. Thank you for joining me. If you don't mind, if you like this, if you would please go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe if you would. And if you click on the bell, maybe you would get notified when I do put out my next video. So until then, appreciate you watching and take care.